Coming up, young volunteers from Batam, Indonesia spend some quality time with children at a local orphanage. And we join Tzu Chi University in Hualien as the school celebrates its 21st birthday. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in Indonesia. Recently, a group of Tzu Chis and Tzu Shaos visited the Ramila orphanage to spend some time with the children. The young volunteers not only brought games to play, but also stories to share with the orphans in hopes of opening up their eyes to the outside world.
Tulis, karena itu aku pilihkan yang lembut.
Watching cartoons together, humming along to the music. Tzu Chis and Tzu Shaos from Batam are spending some quality time with the children at the Ramila orphanage.
Kita mengajar anak-anak yang kita bisa di luar.
We shared our life and work stories with these children in hopes that they can grow a wider perspective on life.
Supaya apapun yang terjadi.
No matter what happens in life, we need to continue pushing forward. We shouldn't get down and out by one minor event in life. If we can deal with upsetting events with a calm heart, then everything will turn out smoothly.
At the end of the visit, the group of Tzu Chis and Tzu Shaos were happy to have shared their day with the orphans and looked forward to the next time they meet. Hualien County of Guizhou Province is among the earliest region that Tzu Chi volunteers have lent support to, as it was once considered the poorest county in China. To help impoverished families of the region send their children to school, recently Tzu Chi volunteers headed to Hualien No. 1 High School to distribute scholarships to students in need. But first, along the same line, Shanghai Tzu Chi volunteers have been conducting home visitations in Jiangsu Province's Shuyang as part of this year's Spring Bud Scholarship Program. It's 5 in the morning, yet Tzu Chi volunteers from Shanghai are up and setting out for Jiangsu's Shuyang County.
When they see us, the students are often very happy, as they feel we're like angels.
In order to get to know each Spring Bud Scholarship recipient, Tzu Chi volunteers break up into 24 teams to conduct their home visitations. Tan Lijun's father lost his left arm in an accident. To give her parents one less worry, Tan works hard in school.
Besides being overjoyed, the other thing I wanted to do was to immediately call my parents and tell them that I've won an award.
Having received Tzu Chi scholarship support for the past year, Tan has regained a cheerful outlook on life.
I wish that my parents are healthy and happy living out the rest of their days. Meanwhile, for me, I wish I had more time to spend with them.
Raised by his grandmother since young and now in high school, scholarship recipient Wang Dongji has finally opened up his heart. With the volunteers' support, Wang is no longer shy to express his love to his grandmother, and this love is sure to inspire others around them. The straight and wide highway is the latest addition to Hualien County's scenery. Despite the changes to this once poor and remote region, Tzu Chi volunteers' love and care towards these children remain unchanged.
The aunties and uncles traveled very far to visit us. Why? Because they care about each and every one of you very much.
The day after the scholarship distribution, despite the rain, the volunteers trek into the mountain regions of Hualien to visit the parents of these scholarship recipients. Getting to know each family, the volunteers do their best to ease the parents' worries. Though the volunteers' white pants are stained with mud from walking in the rain, they continue on to the next house to bring their signature love and care to the scholarship recipient's family, giving each family the support they need to break the cycle of poverty. In 2007, a series of typhoons struck Dreamland Village of Cavite Province in the Philippines. Since then, the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter has been providing residents there with emotional and material assistance and has also helped many underprivileged children fulfill their dreams of continuing their studies. 8 years on, although many residents continue to live through the absence of water and electricity, they find comfort and assurance in the support Tzu Chi has been providing their children, as they know education is their tickets out of poverty.
A shack patched together with wooden planks and corrugated metal is the best Jack can do for his family.
Life is extremely difficult. I managed to make only enough to feed my family.
Naging scholar po ako sa Tzu Chi nung
I was about to quit school and find a job, but Tzu Chi provided me with tuition aid, allowing me to go to college. I want to thank Tzu Chi for giving me the chance to continue with my studies.
We don't have electricity at home, so we rely on oil lamps for light. When we run out of money, we can't afford to buy oil for the lamp, which means I can only do my homework the following morning. So we really appreciate Tzu Chi's aid.
Siyempre, sa isang magulang, talagang kahit ang sa akin naman kasi,
Maraming sa Tzu Chi Foundation sa ginawa nilang tulong sa akin. Hindi ko po yung sasayangin. Gagawin ko po yung best ko para po gumagawa ng tama yung profession ko na tinapos ko.
Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation.
Back in Taiwan, after the third session of the 2015 Overseas Volunteers Training in Taichung ended, Master Zhenyan made her way down to Changhua to host 2 sessions of what marks the beginning of a series of year-end blessing ceremonies across the island. Let's take a look at how the volunteers welcomed the Master to the area. Wearing different hats, Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Lijin is not only a hospital volunteer, but also a either mother to junior high students in Hualien's Tzu Chi school. It is hard to imagine she has had cancer twice in the span of 7 years.
I can't determine how long my life will be, but I can determine how I live it. That is why after I completed my radiation therapy and chemotherapy, I vowed to quit my job and become a full-time volunteer.
Living each day as if it was her last, Wang throws herself into each task. It was also in doing Tzu Chi that Wang found her life's purpose. As part of the decorations for the year-end blessing ceremony, Changhua Tzu Chi volunteers displayed their notes and reflections on the Master's morning sermons they took each day, with some of them presented in drawings. Thanks to the convenience of technology, the Master's disciples are able to gain wisdom and enlightenment no matter where they may be in the world, and listen to her morning sermons via the internet. Meanwhile, for Tzu Chi's first year-end blessing ceremony of 2015, the Changhua Jingsi Hall is bursting with energy thanks to approximately 2,000 people in the audience. Spreading the seeds of compassion is Ma Yongchang, who often burns the candle on both ends between his work and family. while still making time to absorb the master's teachings each morning.
My heart is calmed and stays that way. All my worries seemed to dissipate. My affliction slowly faded away.
Some of those who just completed the overseas volunteers training in Taichung also followed the master down to Changhua to learn alongside her. While the master is grateful the training ended on a perfect note. Before setting out for Changhua, Master Zhen Yan first held a talk in Taichung.
The Taichung Jinsi Hall is not only a home away from home for the overseas volunteers, as we have vowed, but also a spiritual ground to cultivate bodhisattvas in the community.
Looking to other Tzu Chi volunteers as role models, the newly certified volunteers also vowed to continue to promote Tzu Chi's missions far and wide. Turning our focus to the United States, for the vice principal of the Los Angeles City Academy, Xu Hongyu, filial piety is more than a concept, but a principle he teaches his son by setting an example. For 12 years, Xu traveled monthly between the United States and Taiwan to spend time with his mother and grandmother. Although the frequent travels can be tiring, Xu believes he should practice true filial piety so he won't have any regrets.
When people ask me what filial piety is, I tell them filial piety means not having any regrets. Not having any regrets when it comes to your parents or your children. Having no regrets is filial piety.
My parents raised me to a point where thinking, that, being loyal to your parents is not something you give credit to. It's something that if you weren't loyal, you'd be given discredit to. It's so natural, so that when my dad had to go back to Taiwan to take care of my grandmother, take care of my great-grandmother, that was just kind of a, yeah, of course he has to do that.
2002年家父往生了。
My father passed away in 2002. At the time, my grandmother was 99 years old. He was unresponsive at the end. I didn't want him to leave with any worries, so I told my father, "You can go ahead. I will take care of Grandma." But how strange, he wouldn't go. He was still unresponsive. Then I said, "Fine, I'll come back every month." And he still wouldn't go. "Fine, I'll come back for 10 days every month." And then he passed. I had to keep my promise to him.
因为我跟孩子们讲说，不 regret.
Because I taught my kids to not have any regrets, I go back every month for 10 days to spend time with my mom and my grandma. And then I come back to my family here. To be honest, during those 12 years, I was frightened of plane crashes. Because if it crashes, what would my two families do without me? The Tzu Chi Academy is open 32 weeks a year, and we spend 10 weeks preparing for the speech competition. Starting in 2002, I did go back to Taiwan every month to spend time with my mom and grandma. Of course, it was very tiring, but in the back of my mind, I did be thinking about the speech competition.
当然，我也有偷懒不用功的时候，也可以试试看。
身体会累，你会觉得，哇，又要做。
I felt exhausted because I felt like I was always flying. I felt tired and annoyed, but because I volunteer at the school, the students and other volunteers see what I'm doing and they trust me. They did encourage me every time I came back. They did tell me to keep it up, or they did ask how my grandma was doing. That's how they motivate me.
就会鼓励我，师伯，加油，或者是师伯啊，做好吗？这个东西是他们给我一个后面的动力。
坚持不放弃，坚持不放弃，坚持不放弃。
When the kids would visit their great-grandmother, they'd hear the clock. Now every time it rings, we can almost see her sitting there, asking us if we ate already.
阿嬷2013年的时候110岁，她 passed away.
My grandma was 110 years old when she passed away in 2013. Her dad gave her this clock when she got married at 14. People ask me why I bother bringing this old clock back. Well, you need to wind up this clock. This is for it to move. This is for it to ring. So you see, it rings at 6 and at 12. It lasts 20 days after you wind it up. So you have to do it every 20 days. It's like I'm winding myself up. I think of her when I see this clock. I remember what she told me. It's important that we wind it up just as it's important that we reflect on
讲的
ourselves.
是我阿嬷跟我讲那句话，为什么要转？就是你每天要反省。
In Malaysia, the Malacca Tzu Chi Kindergarten recently held its 14th graduation ceremony, sending off 41 young students. While many parents were impressed to see how their children have matured, the teachers hope the students will become seeds of love as they move on to the next chapter of their lives.
The Malacca Tzu Chi Kindergarten is holding its 14th graduation ceremony, in which 41 young graduates received their first graduation certificate.
I hope there will be our seeds of love out there. They could be the ones to begin purifying people's hearts.
I want to help others by saving up every day. I can donate to help those in suffering.
Society is too chaotic now, so I hope my child can learn proper values and conduct at Tzu Chi's kindergarten.
I did not expect my children to be so mature. They seldom show it at home.
Not only have the parents witnessed their children's growth, they're also impressed by the students' compassionate nature.
Take care of other people. Be the best you can, okay? Very good. Let's make a pinky promise.
With their teachers and parents' good wishes and blessings, the young graduates will now bravely enter the next stage of their lives.
Tzu Chi University in Hualien, Taiwan is now in its 21st year. As the school hosted a sports day on Wednesday the 25th, it also celebrated the school's birthday. Here's more.
With athletes marching to the field, Tzu Chi University launches this year's Sports Day and Anniversary celebration. 5 seventh-year med students who have already started their residency have come back to participate in spite of their busy schedules.
This probably will be the last time for us to come together as a team.
We have partaken in the event over the last 6 years. This will be our final year here, so we want to see if we can keep up with our records.
Xu Qianru, who suffers from cerebral palsy, relies on a wheelchair to get around, but she is satisfied just from cheering on her classmates from the sideline.
Normally, I am busy studying. I seldom have the chance to come out and enjoy the sun, and I get to be with my classmates as well. I feel so wonderful coming out here.
Celebrating the school's 21st year with Sports Day, both the faculty and students demonstrate their sportsmanship, making this an unforgettable day.
We now take you to an unforgettable sports day at the Hankou Junior High School in Taichung. Here, 9th grader Liu Bo-chen, who was supposed to be in a vegetative state for life, as declared by doctors, got to realize his dream by becoming the final runner of his class in the relay competition.
With the help of a walker, Liu Bo-chen moves forward one step at a time. Cheered on by the whole school and accompanied by heartfelt tears, Bo-chen completes the final 5 meters of a relay competition. Finally, the 9th grader of Taichung's Hankou Junior High has fulfilled his dream. When in 6th grade, Bo-chen became paralyzed after a surgery to treat his cerebral arteriovenous malformation. He only returned to school 2 years ago after undergoing unending rehabilitations.
As his condition is not that great, so I asked the school if I can accompany him in school.
In class, Chen Zhenzhen will help her son take notes, so they may review them later at home. During breaks, Bo Chen's classmates will sing together with him.
I'm honored to have met him. After meeting him, I realized we truly are blessed with many things already.
Although doing well in the school sports day is important, the class decided to let Bo Chen be the final runner on the relay competition.
At first, some of the students were indeed skeptical. However, once a consensus was reached, everyone made this their top priority.
I heard the whole school cheering for him. Some of his classmates were in tears already. I am really proud of my son.
It took Bo Chen 9 minutes and 20 seconds to complete the final 5 meters. Every step he took was completed with determination and conviction. Thanks to the support of the whole school, this will be a sports day that he will never forget.
Zhang Yahui, who works at National Taiwan University of Science and Technology in Taipei, lost her sight due to a lab accident. Thankfully, she got a guide dog 7 years ago, which made a huge difference in her life. Now that her guide dog is retiring, the school decided to hold a special graduation for it.
This is guide dog Taxi, and in 2009, it became the partner of Zhang Yahui, who lost her sight in a lab accident. Looking back over the past 7 years, Yahui says they really share a close affinity with each other.
When Tashi first saw me, it greeted me with enthusiasm. When I knelt down to touch it, it kept licking my hand and face.
With Tashi by her side, Yahui has learned to walk with confidence and courage once more. She no longer fears crossing a busy intersection in Taipei.
Every time I crossed an intersection, I wanted to break down and cry because I must rely on others to help me cross the street, especially crossing Jilong Road. However, Dashi was able to help me cross Jilong Road in its own way, overcoming a road I couldn't do on my own.
To Yahui, Tashi is not just a guide dog, but also a family member. So she has decided to let it retire early while it is still healthy, so it may enjoy living life as a dog. The students of NTUST has thus decided to hold special graduation ceremony for Tashi.
We really share a strong bond, so it is very hard for me to let Tashi go. However, I also wanted to be able to live happily as well.
After retiring, Tashi will go back to Taichung to live with Yahui's parents. Though saying goodbye is never easy, there will always be a place in Yahui's heart for Tashi.
In Malaysia, the Kapan City Kindergarten in Kuala Lumpur recently held a Thanksgiving event in honor of the group of parents who volunteer at the school. During the event, the students presented tea and homemade cards to the volunteers to express their gratitude. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. See you next time.